Hello, everybody. We're looking at this video by Daniel Haqiqatjou, he basically had a debate with the Apostate Prophet, and he's highlighting this part that is about apostasy laws, apostasy laws in Islam, and he's explaining it. And I think this came out right after the Muhammad hijab incident, because Muhammad hijab was. Oh, guys in live chat are telling. Whoop. Whoa. Right after Muhammad hijab mentioned that was trying to downplay what apostasy laws were actually mean. He got a lot of Muhammad hijab get a lot of reactions by mainstream Muslims, like, what the hell do you mean? Of course apostasy laws are a thing. And I think this video came after that, because Daniel Haqiqatjou was one of those people that were saying, yeah, apostasy laws, yeah, Muslims, ex-Muslims need to be executed, right? This is Islamic. I mean, this has been in Islamic um, teachings in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim and many other Islamic scripture. This is part of Islamic canon, that if somebody leaves Islam, you kill them, right? So yeah. So but here's okay. So we have the Apostate Prophet on one side, and we have Daniel Haqiqatjou from the channel the Muslim skeptic on the other side. And I think this was on Apostate Prophet's channel, but Daniel Haqiqatjou just took out the part that it was about the apostasy laws. And he's like highlighting that part. Okay, so again, for people who don't know, I mean, if you don't know this, I don't know how do you not know this, but the guy on the left is our very own prophet, the Apostate Prophet, the ex-Muslim prophet. So that's him. So check him out, the Apostate Prophet. Sorry, the guy on the right is, I would say, one like Daniel Haqiqatjou, who's a fundamentalist Muslim. I don't know if people think fundamentalist Muslim, they kind of have this understanding of like, oh, he's extreme, but he's not extreme. He's mainstream fundamentalist in Islam, because it's just mainstream Islam. But I think he is the most intellectually honest Muslim when it comes to YouTuber, at least, sorry, Muslim YouTuber, when it comes to representing Islam, right? And what it actually stands for, okay? And I think like the rest of them are a joke. Like, these whole Dawa guys, they act like they're intellectuals and they know what they're talking about, and they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. But Daniel Haqiqatjou is the real deal, okay? And he knows his shit, and he is honest about it. Like you see in this video, it says unapologetic answer, right? He doesn't shy away from it. He doesn't try to pretend like, oh, maybe it doesn't mean that we need to kill ex-Muslims. Oh, maybe it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be killing gay people. Oh, maybe it doesn't mean that we're allowed to have sex with 9-year-olds. Oh, maybe it doesn't mean that we shouldn't beat our wives. Nope, 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 nope. He's not going to shy away from any of that. He's like, yep, no, that's Islamic, and this is why. Okay, and he explains to you why it's okay. All right. I mean, we disagree with that, but at least he's honest about what Islam actually stands for. Okay, so we appreciate that. Okay, so let's see. Daniel Haqiqatjou here wants to explain to us ex-Muslims and non-Muslims and atheists and everybody else why apostasy laws in Islam are justified, why it's okay to kill somebody like the Apostate Prophet, or me, or Deborah here. Deborah is here too, right? Who used to be, yo, Deborah in the live chat. Deborah used to be a Muslim as well. So she explains why it's okay according to Islam. Again, YouTube, I'm not saying this. Why it's okay according to Islam to kill us, right? And guys, by the way, if you're watching this later and you're not in the live chat hanging out with me, like Yasser here, like Darko here, like Hola here, like this guy here, and this guy, and this guy, make sure you are subscribed. Not only you're subscribed, make sure you hit the bell button, so next time when we go live, you're here in the live chat with me, so I could highlight your comments and talk to you, especially if you're a member, like Darko here, like Luke here, so I could I notice your comments if you're a member more, okay? And I highlight them more. But again, after I finish reviewing this video for you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you guys, the members, if you want to come talk to me about this specific issue. I will post a link here for anybody who wants to call in, basically come on with camera or audio with me and talk to me. I'll do that right after. But anyways, let's listen to Daniel Haqiqatjou. And let me know if you guys have audio. Hey, do I even have audio? I have no audio yet. Hopefully there's audio soon.
When it comes to apostasy, it's based on similarity and similarity between people. So shared values, like being the same religion, because historically Islam was not based on race. Islam did not have ethnic and racial conflict like you'd see in other empires, like the Roman Empire and so forth, because it wasn't racial or ethnic. It was on the basis of similar religion.
So what he's going for is, this is the same argument that the white nationalists make, right? Like they think that everybody being the same in some sense helps for cohesion and makes a society a better place, which is utter nonsense, right? But you know how, like, again, I can't say the name of these people on YouTube, so I'm going to say the low melanin supreme sandwich people, the low melanin supreme sandwich nationalists, they think that, oh, if we just live together and the people that have high melanin live together separately because we look like each other, that's going to be better for everybody. And they say, look at Japan. Look, they all look like each other and they're doing so great. And look at us. We all look different. And we're like, the society is falling apart and the sky is falling and everything is crumbling and everybody's unhappy and misery. Maybe if we just get separated, we could be happier, right? So he's saying that Islam basically teaches that, but not with skin color, but like everybody being Muslim. Like everybody being abiding by certain values and cohesion, everybody acting the same way and talking the same way and dressing the same way and looking the same way, having the same beards, and the woman looking kind of like a Handmaid's Tale, like all the women look, the men look the same, and women basically that nightmare. That's this guy's idea of a utopian society.
Or ethnic, it was on the basis of similar religion. So this is a source of order and cohesion as well. And those who basically leave the religion, they pose a major threat to that social order and that social cohesion.
So he's basically saying that this social cohesion of everybody acting uniformly in the same way is such an important part of order and cohesion that anybody just deciding like, hey guys, I changed my mind, bye-bye, I'm gonna go, I don't like this. He sees that as such a threat to society that it justifies violence to the point of killing that person for the sake of society. Is that that's basically what you're saying. I mean, do I need to add anything to that? Like, is that not like a nightmare to you guys? Like, oh, you changed your mind? Okay. That's a threat to us. It's a threat to cohesion. Think about what an Orwellian nightmare that is. Like, conform or die. That's basically what he's justifying. Conform. Oh, if you say, I don't like this, you guys be you, and I'm gonna go live a different way. That's such a threat that you need to be eliminated. That's a fucking nightmare. And he is saying that as an explanation for why all of this, for why it's okay to kill ex-Muslims.
And this is a very violent act.
It's God, oh my God. He's saying like us changing our opinion and leaving Islam, that's considered a violent act, which justifies us murdering you. Think about that. He describes us leaving Islam as a violent act. And yet they're going to murder us for leaving it. The act of killing us for leaving Islam apparently is less of a harm to mankind than saying like, guys, can I just like have different opinions than you guys? Can I just have not agree with you guys? Apparently that is that violence of like, oop, sorry, I don't agree with you guys. That violence is so threatening and is such a high level of violence that killing that person is a correction that is like, it's violence as well, but it's adjusting for the higher harm that this person is causing by just changing their opinion. Yeah, AJ is saying, so basically Islam sees killing apostates as self-defense. Fucking idiots. Exactly. Yeah, and also Andrew is saying apostasy shows the weakness of Islam. Yes, how fragile and how pathetic and how weak your Allah and your Islam must be, that people saying, hey, I disagree, it's a threat to its cohesion, and everything will fall apart just because like it's a violent threat towards this whole thing, just by saying like, hey guys, I just disagree. Luke is saying, does he actually think it will help society, or is it just doing what God says? He thinks both. Then Haqiqatjou thinks that it has actually harmed society and is, but he doesn't think there's a contradiction between that, because he thinks God, the path that God, Islam, following God's commandment is the best thing for society, because God only gives you directions that make society a healthier society. Yeah, Deborah is saying 100% fragile Islam. Okay.
Leave the religion, they pose a major threat to that social order and that social cohesion. And this is a very violent act to leave the religion, because all of society is based, that cohesion and order, there's not a top-down structure that is imposing like you see in the West. And in the modern nation state, you have society.
So he thinks that you need the social cohesion because there's not a top-down order, but that's bullshit, because you're not going to be able to execute these laws unless there's a top-down order.
That has
somebody is saying 1987 is saying, when are you doing an Armin Daniel debate? I'm always open. If Daniel reaches out to me, he knows how to reach out to me.
Logic of cohesion because of shared similarity in religion. We have the same values, and all of these like family structure, family relations, social structure, communal structure, and so forth at every level depends on a shared religious belief. So if someone opts out of that, it threatens that order. And so there,
how pathetic is your order if somebody opts out of it, it threatens that order. Then fuck whatever order that you have created, that it forces me to stay in it for you to be able to maintain it. Like that, whatever that thing is, it needs to collapse. So maybe, yeah, so good. I'm glad that your religion is so pathetically weak that me opting out of it threatens it, because anything like that needs to be threatened.
Is a clear harm to people in life. Obviously, we can talk about the afterlife and the harm that's caused by someone leaving Islam, but we're just making points that a non-Muslim would agree with.
Right. So the bigger consequences of me being an ex-Muslim, and also not just being an ex-Muslim, trying to tell you guys how ridiculous, barbaric, violent, and and moronic Islam is. The main threat, according to, in the views of somebody like Daniel Haqiqatjou, is the consequences not in this world, but the next world, right? Because again, if I have successfully made a lot of people leave Islam, and basically in the eyes of a Muslim, I have made them, mainstream Muslim, I have basically damned them to eternal torture in hell, right? So yes, so society might get harmed because of my activism, according to Daniel Haqiqatjou. But again, the greater harm is in the afterlife, right? The akhirat is way more important than the dunya. But He's saying that if you don't believe in an afterlife, I could tell you exactly why this is harmful, even in this world, not just the next world. Like, I'm just talking to you guys, for you non-Muslims, I'm trying to explain to you that even from your worldview, why it's justified. Again, YouTube, I'm not saying this. It's justified to kill apostates, even if you don't believe in an afterlife. Oh, thank you, AJ.
There is tangible harm to society when you have defectors, and every society punishes.
Look at his audience, by the way. He got 13,000 views, 1,100 likes, 51 dislikes, right? Like, this stuff, like, this is not the stuff that, his audience completely agrees with this.
Defectors, often with death, and liberal society is no different. Modern.
Ooh, this is what they always do. Like, they always get to, like, you guys are criticizing Islam, but what about your beloved liberal societies, right? And usually the examples that they give of this, our beloved, they think like it's our God or something, liberal societies, are usually the examples that they give are exactly the parts of these societies that we do not like and we want to change. Yeah, Darko is saying defectors. Yeah, basically they call us defectors. Like, we're causing we're betraying Islam, we're defectors. And what's the other? Treason. We're committing treason, basically. That's what they consider us as well. Yeah, exactly, Animal.
Liberal society is no different.
So which one is going to be? Is it going to be like, oh, treason is punishable by death in many countries as well?
Punishing defectors. And we see this to this day, but definitely throughout the colonial period.
Okay, so he's saying we're seeing this today, that defectors are punished. But to see it more, you have to go towards the colonial period. So guess what that means? You know what that means, guys? That we're making progress, that we're seeing less of that. Okay, just because we're seeing, like, he thinks like we are, like, the way that they see Quran and God, they think that's what we see, like Western societies. We think that this is our God and they could do no wrong. Do you think, like, guess in the live chat, guys, do you think I am in favor of death penalty for treason, even if it's by, like, United States? Do you think that anything that he's going to give us, any examples that he's going to give us of what he calls it liberal, colonial countries in the past, like the Great Britain, they had punishment for defectors. I mean, they were more liberal than other countries, but they were not as liberal as countries today, exactly because of the things that he's going to mention as an example. Those are the things that we have an issue with these countries as well. And you are the worst. Your Islamic values are the worst examples of the things that are wrong with these Western countries as well. If there's any punishment for defectors, I'm against that as well, regardless of the country, regardless of the society. But they never got as violent as discussing about what Islam teaches. But I'm consistent. I'm very consistent with with my values. Well, so thank you so much for the 50-something currency super chat. Tales from a Nightmare official saying, thank you so much for the super chat. You're saying holes in the narrative, the metal song about Mimi hijab. Okay, guys, go check that out. Thank you so much for the super chat.
The liberal colonizers, when they take over certain territories, they punish with death, with imprisonment, anyone who speaks out against the liberal secular order and the colonial powers.
Yeah, and that makes them less secular and less liberal. Those are the things that were wrong with those countries at the time. There were those colonial powers at that time, they were less liberal than they are today, and they could be even more liberal going forward, thankfully, but they were much better than your Islamic fucking nonsense.
We saw this throughout North Africa, in the subcontinent. Millions of Muslims were killed because of their opposition, their ideological opposition to liberalism.
See, he wants to say, no, it wasn't their opposition to liberalism, it was their opposition to colonialism, and that made those colonial countries less liberal, and they became more and more liberal as time went by. but he wants to just associate. He's like basically doing guilt by association, right? He's like, oh, these are countries that are associated with liberalism, and these are the stuff that they did at some point. So this is liberalism. No, that is not liberalism. That's what they were less liberal because of that shit, that kind of shit that they were doing. Okay, we're not for that. Just because some countries are better than your Islamic fucking bullshit, that doesn't mean that we endorse everything that they ever did and they're doing right now. Yeah, and Andrew is pointing at Islam colonized the Middle East. This is a fact of history. Yeah, of course.
Okay, so they defected from the colonial power, the liberal powers.
See, he would say colonial power, the liberal power, because he wants to be like, oh, liberal, and they did these things, so these are liberal values. No, they're not, okay? They're not liberal values. Just because these countries were better, more liberal than you did that doesn't mean it doesn't make them liberal values. It's anti-liberal to kill the people who disagree with you. How fucking stupid do you have to be to think that what they were doing is liberal just because they were more liberal than you? No. Killing people, if the colonial countries, if they were killing defectors, that is not a liberal value. Fucking hell.
Justify that. Look, we are trying to maintain our power, therefore we have to kill.
Luke is saying, isn't this just a massive whataboutism? Yeah, exactly. It is. Exactly. Good point.
These defectors, because if Muslims start speaking against us, the colonizer, then they're going to, we're the minority. They're going to band together and they're going to overthrow us. They're going to fight jihad against us and expel us. So we cannot allow any dissension and defection. We have to punish things like disrespect to the French symbols or the British.
Yeah, okay, guys, think about the Enlightenment values, okay? The actual Enlightenment values that we here defend, okay? And the liberal values that we defend. And he wants to associate. So do you think that punishing people who disrespect French symbols, do you think that those are liberal values? Just because many liberal philosophers came out of France, that doesn't mean whatever the French do is liberal values. Do you think Voltaire, for example, would be like, oh yeah, this is liberalism. Yeah. Punish the people who are disrespecting French symbolism. Again, this is such lazy thinking.
Symbols, disrespect to British values or French values or Dutch values. We have to punish that very severely. And liberal thinkers just...
So again, look at the way the standard, like, oh guys, you guys think Islam is bad? Look at these French, look at France and the UK, look at what they were doing. Like, again, so they see that as the gold standard, and they're trying to, like, and their God is supposed to be way above all of this, by the way, right? So even if there's flaws in human laws, you are talking about the God that is supposed to be perfect. So we have to understand that your God's law is perfect because laws by French and British colonialists, like, what? Yep, is that really your standard? Okay, so good job at bringing your God down below human laws.
Justified that, and they said that such figures like John Stuart Mill, that the savages, you have to...
Darko is saying he thinks he's a general fighting a war, dude, take a chill pill. That's Islam, though. Islam constantly divides the world into the house of peace, house of Islam, and the house of war. Everything that is not Islam, you are at war with. That the mentality of being at war with the non-Islamic world is an Islamic perspective. Even if you have peace treaty with them, a peace treaty is delaying the war. You are at a constant, you have to consider that the world that is not Islam constantly as the part of the world that you are at war with. Not just, and even in the individuals that are not Muslim. This is completely Islamic. Darul Islam and Darul Harb. Andrew saying, if Daniel thought about his religion instead of defending Islam, he would have left already. No, dude, he thinks about Islam all the time. He thinks about Islam when he's sleeping.
Limit their freedom of speech. You have to limit them because you're trying to civilize them. You're trying to bring them to a state of civilization. So you have to limit their speech very severely in order to do that. Then once the liberal order is established, then suddenly, and there's no threat to the liberal order, then suddenly you're tolerant of free speech. When I, for example, speak against the US government, like someone might say, no one in a secular country is killed for denouncing the government. No one is killed in the West for denouncing Donald Trump or any of these regimes or presidents. See how much freedom of speech we have. See how much tolerance we have. Well, this is like comparing apples and oranges, because you can't really compare that to apostasy. In these Western states, Donald Trump is not threatened if I call him an idiot. If Donald Trump and the U.S. regime is not threatened by me speaking out against them.
He is threatened. He might lose the election because of free speech, you idiot. How do you think Donald Trump is not threatened? Because people could say whatever they want about Donald Trump in the United States, and he is threatened. He might lose the presidency. The Republicans might lose their seat because of that. The Democrats might lose their seat. You know, there is consequences to the politicians' power and authority because freedom of speech. And yet, even though there's consequences, the freedom of speech values still, you know, mostly are being adhered to in the United States. So what he's saying, that these people are hypocrites because only when there is no threat to their power, only then they allow free speech. He's like, there's no threat to Donald Trump's power, and that's why they allow free speech. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, if the fact that he could lose the election is because everybody in the United States gets to call him a fucking moron and make fun of him on on news and comedy shows and social media, and people highlight how horrible, how bad of a job he has done. What the fuck are you talking about? There's somebody in the live chat is saying, like, look at these idiots. Big Jack said, Armin, when you criticize Judaism, I have. Maybe do a little bit of a search before you think that, like, oh my God, they think like, Big Jack, are you like a Zionist conspiracy that think like I'm fun? I actually did one yesterday. Jesus Christ, you guys. I have so many videos on Judaism and against Judaism. These people, what do you, like, maybe look a little bit before you make a claim like that. These people think like, do you think like, by the way, for all the people that think that I'm paid by the Zionists, if what you're saying is true, then these Zionists are such idiots because I haven't received, again, please pass on to my Patreon account, Atheist Republic's Patreon account, link in the description, to all of these Zionists that are supposedly funding us, because I haven't received shit from them yet. I've been promised Zionist money for for 15 years. People told me that I'm being paid by Zionists, and I haven't received anything from them yet. I've actually one or two, they gave me $1 or $2 a month, so that's something. But again, I've been promised a lot more. Again, please tell them it's not that hard. My Patreon is right in the description. Where is all that Zionist money at? Okay. Again, but yeah, I have a lot of videos. Oh, by the way, YouTube, I'm just joking right now. I'm not in this whole fucking hell. See, YouTube, this is why I can't say whatever I want. YouTube, that was a joke. I was just making fun of the conspiracy theories. I wasn't actually feeding into it myself. I hope your moronic algorithm can understand that. Please do not strike this channel. Thank you. Thank you to YouTube gods. The only gods we fear here at Atheist Republic are the YouTube gods.
Were to reach a position and more people were thinking about going against the government, then the government would crack down. Then suddenly free speech is no longer allowed. So it's very convenient of the West and of liberal regimes that when their power is not secure.
Oh, we got Zionist money right here. Thank you so much, Lee, for the I'm just joking, man. $2 super chat from Lee. Yay, thank you.
They do not allow free speech. In fact, they kill people, they kill defectors. And then once they've entrenched power, then they'll allow things that don't actually threaten their power. Whereas in Islam, apostasy is a major threat to the individual's happiness, his family's happiness, his community.
Oh my God! So it's like the individual's happiness, the family's happiness is such a major threat. It's such a major threat to everything. The sky might fall just because we decided Islam is not the right religion.
Community's happiness. So there is a practical benefit to deterring it. And
why don't you say the words? I thought you said unapologetic, right? He's like, people leaving Islam is such a major threat that there's a practical reason, practical benefit to deterring it. Just say killing them. Just say it out loud. Like, just don't be shy. You know, did I say Apostate Prophet? I mean Haqiqatjou. Don't be shy and just be like, there's benefit to killing ex-Muslims. That's what you mean. Just say it. You said in the title here on Apologetic, to say it out loud.
You deter it with severe punishment and capital punishment.
Oh, so you did. There you go. See, it is unapologetic. He basically said there's severe benefit in killing ex-Muslims. That's what he just said. There's a huge benefit in killing ex-Muslims. That's what he literally just said. Look at this.
Apostasy is a major threat to the individual's happiness, his family's happiness, his community's happiness. So there is a practical benefit to deterring it, and you deter it with severe punishment and capital punishment. So that
there's a lot of benefit. Basically summarizing, there's a lot of benefit in killing ex-Muslims. That's what he just said. That's what he just said.
That's the argument.
Okay. To finalize this point, I think we should be wrapping up soon. We haven't clarified apostasy fully. So
you see that decoration behind Daniel Haqiqatjou? That's Allah in the middle, and I think the rest of it is just the other 99 names of Allah in Arabic calligraphy.
You have basically justified how apostasy serves for the preservation of Islamic society, and how defecting from Islamic society harms society, harms people, harms relationships, harms the relationship between me and my parents, for example.
Yes, actually, good point. Plague Inc is saying I should admire AP's tolerance. Well, yeah, exactly. This is why this is a type of interview that you don't even try to challenge your guests, because the guest is basically showing your audience what Islam represents, right? And again, Daniel Haqiqatjou sees this as a win, but this is a bigger win for Apostate Prophet, for his audience, because he doesn't need to say much. He just needs to let Daniel Haqiqatjou speak for people to see the true image of Islam. That's all he needs to do. And he's doing exactly that. And he's being very strategic here. He's just like, just speak. Just keep saying exactly these things. He's not interrupting him. He's not letting him, he's not fighting him, because he's basically doing all the work that the Apostate Prophet needs to do. Daniel Haqiqatjou is doing that for him.
You have given examples of how in Western society thought that goes strictly against the system has been punished in history, although we don't see that opposing. I mean, for example, you argue for very strict Islamic points and an Islamic government, Islamic traditionalism, whereas you live in America. That should be by that logic, that should be the most opposing, the most problematic opinion, the most problematic political position that you can have. Yet you are not in any trouble, and you will most likely not ever be in any trouble throughout the rest of your life. Although you are in America, which is a liberal society, and you argue completely against it and completely for Islamic law, which nobody wants and nobody likes.
Wait, what did
argue completely political position that you can have, yet you are not in any trouble, and you will most likely not ever be in any trouble throughout the rest of your life. Although you are in America, which is a liberal society, and you argue completely against it and completely for Islamic law, which nobody wants and nobody likes, and society is ruled by the majority of what society wants. So I still don't get how you could possibly give these examples or go out of these examples and justify why Islam would impose people to forcibly stay loyal to its system, even when people don't want to stay loyal, even when people want to go out of it. How is that justified? How would God want that? How is that good for society?
So basically, Apostate Prophet is seeing, like, I don't really see the harm. Like, where is all this threat and harm coming from that would justify killing people for it? But I think I think the way to see it through Daniel Haqiqatjou's view is you have to think exactly like a low melanin supreme sandwich person would think, that everything, the fabric of society will, fall apart if people are not acting uniformly or looking like each other and acting like each other. Basically, the Orwellian nightmare that they want everybody to know their place, act a certain way, dress a certain way, talk a certain way. That is their utopia, right? And this is the Islamic version of that. Okay, this is so like Big Brother. It's so scary, man. This is so goes. This is the greatest division that Daniel Haqiqatjou has for society. Is the worst nightmare for a liberal-minded person. Like, from all the enemies of enlightenment values and liberal values, this is by far the worst, right? Like, I mean, the image that the woke people have, the image that, the far right people have, the Christians have, the Hindutva people have. I mean, they're all scary, okay? But the CCP has, all of them are very, very scary. All of them are heavy control, fascistic, tyrannical government maintaining control and making you conform to their way of life. And these are anti-enlightenment values. But the Islamic one just takes a special place on top of all of them as the worst and the most oppressive and the most controlling and the most violent. It's just sitting on top of all of these enemies of enlightenment values, and just sitting the scariest one. And so it's the greatest threat. It is the greatest threat, and that is why we shouldn't lose track of what we are against here, right? Like, this is the greatest threat that we have to enlightenment values, at least from the outside. From the inside, from inside, the greatest threat to enlightenment values are the wokey people, because they're from home. They're corrupting the whole system from the inside. But from outside, the greatest threat is Islam.
I mean, I'd just be reiterating the points. Like,
Luke is saying, was apostasy enforced in the Perso-Arabian Golden Age? Persian, you mean? Persian Arabian Golden. Thank you for using my terminology, Luke, by the way. A Persian Arabian Golden Age. No.
So Islam has reasons for.
You mean apostasy laws? But yes, but no, it wasn't.
Values and the laws and the punishments and all of Islamic ethics, and the claim is that that system is going to maximize human happiness. Like, you make this argument, and I've cited all kinds of reasons and studies. So on that basis that it does that, anything that will undermine that system of family, that system of community, if you start saying that, no, Islam's teaching on sexuality is actually false, and we have to start practicing adultery and fornication and homosexuality. If someone...
See, that's the threat. People... Again, congrats to Apostate Prophet for just sitting back and just let him, like, what are these threats? Adultery, homosexuality. Oh no, not homosexuality. These are the threats to society. Look at this.
And we have to start practicing adultery and fornication. That, no, Islam's teaching on sexuality is actually false, and we have to start practicing adultery.
No, wait. So basically, he's saying, if you start telling people that this is false, Islam is false, and let people be gay,
saying that, no, Islam's teaching on sexuality is actually false.
If we say those things,
we have to start practicing adultery and fornication and homosexuality. If someone comes and does that,
what happens?
That causes, massive amounts of damage and harm because of.
So if somebody comes and says being gay is okay, that causes massive amount of harm and damage.
Families start breaking down, right?
Families start breaking apart. Hey, if you're gay and you're living, if you're a gay man and you have a wife, your life is already fucked, okay? Because you had to confirm you're already unhappy, okay? So think about it. They feel like this destroys family. No. Forcing somebody that is already gay to live in a traditional family, that is the damaging part, okay? The traditional family that other people like, that is not going to be threatened by gay people being gay, because they shouldn't be in that traditional family to begin with. That is not an ideal life for them. If you want a traditional family, you could have that. Gay people not having that is not going to threaten that.
Families start breaking down. It causes
families start breaking down. No. Families don't start breaking down. The families that are already broken because you forced a gay man into a traditional family, you're encouraging broken family. You're encouraging broken, imagine a lesbian woman being forced into marrying a man. Families are not going to be broken. You're creating broken families and broken lifestyles and broken hearts.
Let's come to converting to Christianity, for example. Someone wants to, or an entire family wants to convert to Christianity from Islam, or wants to convert to Buddhism from Islam, for example. They're not advocating for sexual perversion or deviance or anything like that. They simply want to convert to Christianity and live a peaceful life, or convert to Buddhism and live a very peaceful life. Well, what is wrong with that?
Well, there's many.
So let's say somebody wants to go from Islam to Christianity and they're peaceful and they're not harming anybody. Why do you want to kill those people? Right? Why would Daniel Haqiqatjou say that they should be killed?
Other aspects to social cohesion that we haven't really talked about. So one part of social cohesion is similarity in dress, similarity in practice, like coming to a central place of worship and bowing together in the same ritual.
So what are this? He says, like, okay, if you're a Muslim in an Islamic society and you become a Christian, the reason that's a threat is because you're not the same as other people now, and that's the threat. Is that not an Orwellian nightmare? Like I said, like everybody has to be the same. Like you're not dressing the same. What are the examples?
This like coming to a central place of part of social cohesion is similarity in
dress.
Similarity in practice.
In practice, so you have to behave the same way. You have to dress the same way. You have to have the same kind of beard and the same kind of hijab for the woman. Again, Handmaid's Tale. That nightmare is this guy's utopia.
Central place of worship.
Coming to the same place of worship. Okay, so if people don't come to the same place of worship, that's a threat to the society, apparently.
And bowing together in the same ritual.
Bowing, see, like monkey see monkey. Like everybody was, they have to just. It's just like he wants like a society where people are just like robots. Like you give them the Islamic code and everybody like obeying, like obey. Like this is such a nightmare, guys. This is so scary. This is what he wants. Everybody just acting like a robot, and they put the Islamic code in them, and everybody like beep, boop, boop, like that. That's what he wants. And he's like, if anybody defects, you need to eliminate the threat.
It has a great deal of effect on people's willingness to be altruistic, to help each other, to support each other, to not harm each other.
Yes, so it's like we have a society in that case that helps each other, that support each other, that support each other, that wait, what do you say? That
the altruistic
society
to help
that
each other,
help
to
each
support
other,
each other, to not harm each
other, to kill each other if one of us defects. Like he thinks like, yeah, this is a kind society. We all act the same way, and we support each other, and we help each other, and we don't harm each other, unless somebody says like, guys, I think I disagree. Then we harm that person. That motherfucker gets harmed in the most severe, violent way possible.
That practice by itself, which is a part of Islam, like congregational prayer. So all of society doing that.
So 1987 is saying, how can Daniel talk against CCP? So he says, like, I think, again, I'm not just guessing, okay? I think he would say, actually, see, the CCP's method work. Okay, the methods work. The problem with CCP is that they are efficient, but efficient at upholding the wrong values, right? They're the right way. Like he thinks like maybe like the treason laws when it comes to United States or Great Britain or France. Those methods work. The communist regimes being brutal against the people who defect, those methods work. It's not the issue that they don't work. They work, but those other people, they are using tactics that work into upholding a system that doesn't make people the best life in this world and the next one. So not through Enlightenment values, not through Christianity, not through communism, not through Judaism. You don't get the best life in this world and the other world through these values. Only Islam can give you that.
dressing in a certain way, speaking in a certain way, your language, right? The language that you use to communicate. Like Muslims, even though they speak all the languages of the world, we have shared vocabulary in Arabic, because Arabic.
Oh, like, see, everybody's speaking the same way. We have shared vocabulary. Again, this is exactly how the far right people argue. Like, if we look the same, apparently we can work. And again, this is the exact opposite of what we see, by the way. Okay, you know, the more people see that are exposed to people who are different from them, look differently, act, talk differently, act differently, the more tolerant and loving and accepting people will become. So this is exactly the opposite of what he says.
Is the language of revelation. So that creates bonds and a type of connection and unity that makes the Muslim community strong, and it protects the Muslim community from external threats, because you have this kind of in-group sense of loyalty, and that protects that community and that society.
Is it really loyalty if people are staying loyal because they're afraid of getting executed? Like, that's a fake kind of loyalty.
From external threats. If someone within that,
so you're saying like we need to keep people in check and threaten them to remain loyal, because the threats from within the Islamic community, the threats from within the Ummah, is more dangerous than the threat like from outside. Like, how could you defend yourself against a threat from outside of Islamic community if from within people are leaving from within? And that's why we do what we do here at Atheist Republic, and that's why the work that we do here, along the work that many other people do, just like the Apostate Prophet and many other people, has made a lot of progress, and thousands of people are leaving Islam. Apparently 25% of second generation Muslims have left Islam in the United States. So amazing rates. And apparently, based on data now, we know that half of people in Iran have left Islam. Amazing, guys. Amazing. Great. Yay, guys. We're working. Fuck your Islam.
Community starts saying, no, I'm not Muslim anymore. It disrupts all of that cohesion, and it also makes the group less unified. There's less in-group unity, and that makes it more vulnerable to existential threats from the outside. So these are all practical reasons that I'm giving you.
I'm giving you practical reasons to why we should kill people who disagree with us, people who just changed their minds and left Islam.
The world that we live in today is based on complete coercion and force. There's an interesting quote from a Yale legal scholar, and he says that every law is an opportunity for violence. Every law that is legislated is an opportunity for violence. Why? Because if someone violates the law, like give the parking.
Hey, Defender Dunn, I agree with you that fuck Islam, but don't post it like so many times. I would have to ban you if you do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. If you do that, I will have to ban you from the live chat. Just say fuck Islam once, okay? Don't do it so many times.
Parking ticket example. If you get a parking ticket, you don't pay it, then the government can put a lien on your house, foreclose your house, and kick you out. If you refuse to leave your property, the sheriff can come and arrest you. If you refuse arrest, then he is licensed to shoot you and kill you, to use deadly force.
So here's the thing, okay? Every law comes with the threat of violence, or else there wouldn't be any point to have the law, or else the law, you wouldn't be able to enforce the law. And when I say violence, I'm not talking about like harming somebody physically or killing them. Violence could also be physically moving somebody from one place and reducing your mobility and putting them in prison. That's also considered violence, okay? But again, this is exactly why it's not that you eliminate, you remove the authority of violence completely from a society. You give it to an elected officials that has been chosen by society based on certain values that reduces the harm from that violence, and that violence, that potential violence, is designed in a way that is meant to be used less. It's just the threat should be there so that there's less harm in society. So that is true, but it's not about the fact that you don't give authority of violence to anybody. You do give that authority of violence. You give the monopoly of the violence to the government. And so that is not what we're disputing. I do agree with that. But what we're disputing is that who gets the authority that gets to have the monopoly over violence, and that's the art of politics, right? The politics is basically managing who gets to do violence. That's what politics is about. And laws are basically the lines that you draw for when the government gets to come and enforce the law. And enforcing the law means the lines that if you cross, the government can come, and you have given the government the authority to do violence, right? So the difference between, by the way, thank you so much, Paradise Lost, for becoming a member. Thank you so much. The difference is, again, that we do disagree on the level of violence. Again, putting people in jail is also violence, but that it's not execute, it's not killing them, it's not torturing them. We're against murder, we're against execution, we're against torture. We are for putting people in jail. And also that authority, we also disagree on where that authority for violence comes from. We think that authority comes from based on certain limitation in the Constitution, and after those limitations, it comes from, so those limitations should be based on Enlightenment values, and after that, it should be based on chosen by the people for the people, right? Not from Allah, not from ancient scripture, not from your moronic text, not from your barbaric religion, right? So the fact that laws means that there is room for violence based on certain authorities, there's no disagreement there, okay? It's the values, it's where the red line is and how severe that violence is and who gets to have that authority and based on what values and who gives them that authority. It's not a god or not a prophet or not a religion, it's the people. That is where the difference is.
And so every law has this threat of deadly force. And Western countries have the most laws of any civilization in history. Like you could, even if you spent your whole life trying to study Western law, you couldn't cover every subfield of the legal system. So this is constant control and imposition and violence. And this is...
It's chosen by the people, for the people to they decide their fate rather than your fucking religion. That's the difference.
This is why you can have people who are completely different in their religion who are able to live peacefully with each other, because the state is controlling everything and making sure that violence doesn't erupt. But if you don't have that Leviathan state, that kind of imposition...
See, he's doing another whataboutism. Do you guys hear beeping noise? Is that just me? He's doing another whataboutism. Again, it's not the same level of violence, and it doesn't come from the same authority. And again, I'm against the death penalty from wherever, not just Islam. So your whataboutism is not working here.
Dictating every moment of your life, surveilling every moment of your life as currently exists in the West and in the world as a whole.
Come on, surveilling every moment of our lives. Islam tells you how to wipe your ass. Islam tells you how to step into a fucking washroom. Islam tells you if any of these government tells me how to have sex with my loved ones and who to have sex with, and do they go that far? Like, oh, they're monitoring every part of your life. Come on, that is nothing. I mean, I'm against authoritarianism everywhere. If the government gets involved in our lives too much, I will fight against that everywhere. But none of these other examples that you're using as whataboutism gets close to the level of involvement that Islam wants to have in what we eat, who we fuck, what we say, how we wipe our ass, how we dress, how we have our beard, our clothes. Like, what the... like, it's not even close. Is the United States like, oh, the United States also is monitoring everybody? Does the United States government telling you who to fuck? Does it tell you that you cannot be in a gay relationship? Does it tell you? No, it doesn't. Does it tell you that you need to have this kind of clothing? That you need to have your beard needs to be this length? That you need to say this before you shit? That you need to say this before you eat? That this is how you wash your face, that this is what you use if you don't... like, fucking no, it doesn't. It's not even close. And yes, the United States government, when they get too handsy on when they become too controlling on people's lives, we shit on them as well, because we're not hypocrites. We're consistent with our values.
Then what other kinds of ways can you maintain social order? And in those
social order, guys, this is so Orwellian. Social order. This is exactly how a tyrant speaks, right? Social order, in the sake of social, kill them because social order, obey, follow commands, obey. Like, how? This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare.
Circumstances, having similarity in religious belief is very important for maintaining that.
If you enjoyed this video,
all right, that was this. Guys, I'm gonna bring you guys up. If you guys, anybody in the member, want to come join me, if you guys want to join me, make sure we talk about this topic, okay? But before I send an invite, let me tell you guys that this was oh, by the way, guys, like this video. Do not forget to, I just did this. It was easy, so like this video as well. Tomorrow, same time that this video started, I'm having another live stream. But again, this is an unlisted live stream because this is going to be for patrons and YouTube members only. So you could be linked to our Patreon in the description, and also next to the join button, there's you could become a YouTube member. Either one is fine. And this is the link to this was already sent to our patrons, and it's already posted in the community tab for our members if you want to watch this live stream. So this is going to be for our members only. You could watch it after as well when it's done for our members. Okay, so this one is called "Hey, dude, file legal cases against me." So I'm just going to go and see all the legal cases that has been filed against me in India with the police or with the court, and go through them and see maybe if they make any sense, right? This guy was talking about social cohesion and laws and all that stuff that they were saying. Let's see if India maybe got it better. Maybe I am actually a threat to social cohesion in India. So we could go through these legal documents with each other and see if these government officials in India who are that are threatened by my tweets, apparently, let's see if maybe they have a point, okay? So we'll do this tomorrow in 23 hours, again, just exclusively for our members and our patrons, okay? And also, I just want to let you guys know that I'm taking feedback from you guys, and after the live chat is over, please leave me some comments. These are the shirts that I'm adding on Teespring. You guys, once the live stream is over, please leave a comment on what you think will be good on a shirt. Like, look at this. Isn't this clever? I made this one. Look, religion, 1 out of 5 stars. Very bad, would not recommend. Okay, but again, so many of you give me suggestions that is really not good for a shirt. Like, some of you give like, oh, here, put this on a shirt, and it's just like an essay. Like, no, it needs to be like 1 or 2 lines, and it needs to like be appealing to most people. And sometimes you have references on these t-shirts that most people don't get, but it needs to be very simple and to the point. If you have any suggestion, look at this. God is good. And then in handwriting for nothing, right? See, that's clever, right? Again, link to all our t-shirts is in the description. And also, like, if you go scroll all the way down to the discount code, our patrons and our members get 20% off. So you should be able to find the link to the discount code for our members, for our YouTube members, and our patrons. Okay, so that's that. Anyways, let me get you guys to come up here. Oh, and also, guys, link to our Discord server is also in the description. There's a channel called Video Recommendations. Most of the video recommendations that you guys are sending me is not very good. They need to be short, and they need to be like popular videos. Okay, so I'm gonna just we are talking about Islam. Join me live on air. Oops. Okay, so let me just put this here, and then I'm gonna focus on the live chat and see what you guys have to say. All right, so this is to members only. All right, so if you're a member, you should be able to see that right now on the community tab on our homepage. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. You guys are fighting over communism. How did the live chat turn into an argument about communism? Can we bring it back to Islam, please? Jack is saying, wow, Armin, you're a blasphemer. You should be punished. Yeah, I've been a nutty boy. Well, guys, communism. What happened to the live chat? Why is everybody all of a sudden, every time I bring communism, all of a sudden I start a fight in the live chat? Armin would be fine in the CP. No, I wouldn't. I would be destroyed in CCP. All right, guys. Anybody? Soraya, damn commies. Yeah, right. Oh, there we go. We have somebody. Deborah. Yes, Deborah is here. How awesome is that? Hey, for people who don't know,
this is my jam. This whole hang on. This is my jam.
Oh my god, the audio is so much better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes. All right, guys. This Daniel dude is basically my last 12 years. His like everything he says is everything we advocated for and practiced and discussed with every Muslim to convince them of this. And
tell them you're an ex-Muslim.
Yeah, so ex-Muslim. I practiced Daniel's version of Islam, living it fully and trying to get the world to, join in. So we're all peaceful and fucking, everybody does the same thing and everybody's peaceful and happy doing it, I guess.
Yeah, Deborah was a more serious Muslim than I was. Like, you had went through one of the most conservative experience of Islam. Like, and I grew up in Iran. I grew up under a theocratic regime.
Yeah.
And you grew up where?
Canada.
And in Canada, you experienced a more extreme version of Islam, more true version of Islam than I did in Iran. So that's
we used
amazing.
to shit on all the Muslim countries that weren't doing it right. Like they were like half-ass, like corrupting the Islamic law and everything.
Yeah.
So when people said, go move to a Muslim country, we were like, there's nobody doing it right. So
there's nobody doing it. Yeah, and also another argument is that why we should be here trying to make this society more Muslim, right? That's another point that people make, right?
Yeah, or just like trying to prove to everybody that all the problems in this society are because of man-made laws and that we need the God's laws to correct and just fix everything, magically.
Wait, let me respond to this. Paradise Lost, I'm going to be live often, so whatever time works for you, you could hop on the call with me at any time, okay? So, Deborah, do you have I see you're getting like equipment, are you gonna do you have like a YouTube channel now?
No, I don't really know what I would do on it yet, but I just needed a better setup anyways.
But you have so much experience. You're ex-Christian and ex-Muslim at the same time.
Yeah.
And you've experienced the fundamental versions of Christianity and Islam at the same time.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you ever decide to
I was baptized in an evangelical Mennonite church. So we were very religious then too.
So if you ever decide, if you ever decide to start a YouTube channel and share your experiences, let me know so that we could interview you again. I mean, you could by the way, Deborah, anytime you want to just like start a live stream with me on any topic. Oh, I think you are. We're going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to review cuties.
Yeah. Okay.
I have tons to say about that. Like so much to say about that movie.
Me and Deborah are gonna do a live stream on Cuties.
No, it's Susanna too. I sent her Netflix so she could watch it. I sent her Netflix so she has to watch it, and I want her to join us too.
Okay, so I have to watch it as well. Did you talk? Yeah. Did you already arrange a time with her to come?
No, we just talked about the free slots that we were available. So. We'll figure it out.
I do live stream so many times, so there's so many available spots for you to.
Yeah.
But anytime, like any topics that because you have a lot of interesting thoughts. So anytime you want to do a live stream, just let me know. We'll do it.
Oh, awesome! Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So, do you want to say anything else before Harsh is here as well? So I want to bring. Maybe I should just bring Harsh. No, don't go away. Let's do it at the same time. Harsh is here as well. Harsh.
Hi.
Hey, I still get echo from you. Every time you come, I get echo.
Turn off your speaker.
Yeah, use a headset.
I show you. I have a headset. I show you that, but it's not working. Sorry.
Maybe if you just reduce the volume on your phone, just reduce the volume, then it will be better.
How is it now?
Testing. Better. Good. Okay, go.
Oh.
Tell us.
Oh, yeah. So just to be clear, we are talking about Islam, right?
Yes.
Okay. I always had a question and I wanted someone to answer it. And so the question is, I keep hearing that there are certain things that are similar within Islam and Hinduism, even though there are different types of religion, like Abrahamic and then Eastern type of. But there are obviously acknowledged that there are some similarities. So my question was that there are different schools of thoughts, and my speculation on Hinduism, or more technically right term would be Sanatan Dharma, is that my speculation it is there are no off limits in terms of disagreement and having contradicting lines or schools of thought. So in case of Islam, I have heard that there are different sects, and they obviously, if they are different, they would have some different sets of beliefs. So I was wondering, what is the extent of contradiction, dissent, disagreement that is being tolerated and accepted within Islam?
Ooh, that's controversial too.
Yes, bid'ah. It's bid'ah. You can't innovate.
Yeah, it all depends who you talk to, but you have your four basic schools of thought that most Muslims kind of agree that
Sunni.
Right. Most Sunni Muslims agree that like there's some small differences between the four and they're accepted to be differences. So if you see a Muslim doing something different than you and you were like, oh, I'm doing the Hanafi school of thought, and be like, okay, like, so you'll be okay with that because they're adhering to one of the schools of thought. So it's like a weird, like you kind of have to pick one and roll with that one type of thing.
Right. So I think the mainstream version, the mainstream understanding is that as long as the disagreements is within, there's, so this is the mainstream Sunni version, okay? Is that as long as the differences is within the main Islamic schools of thought, you're okay, right? But once you fall out of that, then you're innovating. It's bid'ah, and that is dangerous, and that is a sin. It is a sin, but I don't think it's death-worthy sin. Right, but I think that the death-worthy sin is leaving Islam, abandoning Islam. That is the one that is death-worthy, but
or
not
changing the religion in any way. Like, say somebody tried to add, like instead of 5 prayers a day, say someone tried to add a 6th or reduce them. That would be changing the religion. So
but
that
is
would
that
be, like,
punishable by death?
Die
by death.
Who knows? Probably.
No, but I don't think that's punishable. I think that's a major sin.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but not punishable by death. I don't think so. But that is a major threat. But for that to be a major threat, you have to change something fundamental about Islam. Not like not disagreements about, oh, this hadith means this instead of this. Those are tolerated. But if you want to change, like, oh, maybe like it's okay to be gay, like that's a major what the fuck are you doing? Like this is not Islam anymore, right?
Yeah, they won't they'll say they're not Muslims anymore, type of thing.
Well, do they say they're
no, maybe if they still acknowledge the prophet, then
you're still a Muslim, but this is not Islam,
right?
You're just a naughty Muslim, very, very naughty Muslim.
Well, you're gonna go to hell for a while at least, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But Harsh, the thing is that there could be similarities within religions and still have major differences at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So acknowledging the similarities does not deny the major differences.
Agreed.
Okay.
I have just one follow-up. Maybe this is not very in line with the conversation that we are having. Have you heard about Din-e-Ilahi? What is it? I don't know, but I keep on hearing it. Like I have heard it 2 times.
Say it again.
Din-e-Ilahi.
Din means religion. Ilahi means like God, from God. So I don't know if is that Deborah? Have you heard that before?
No, that doesn't sound familiar to me.
No, it doesn't. It individually sounds familiar, but not together. So I don't know what you're referring to.
Okay.
Maybe religion from God. Religion from God.
So the context that I heard it in was that this was a particular sect within Islam that wanted to have their own particular belief. Maybe it was trying to go out of it, but still wanted to be part of community somehow. And the context I had in my mind, the way I heard it from, they were wiped out because I don't know, they were considered as a perversion of the mainstream or canon or consensus belief.
Right. I don't know. I haven't heard of it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Harsh.
Thank you.
All right. Always great to have you here. All
Thank you.
right.
Yeah, thank you.
I have Paradise Lost as next. Paradise Lost. Hi, Paradise Lost.
Hey, Armin, how are you?
Good. How are
Yo,
you?
check it out.
Um, I know this is very silly, but I couldn't
That's
find anything
awesome.
else, so I wrapped this towel around my head
Say that
so that
again.
I can be anonymous. Oh, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah. Keep it close. Say that again.
Yes. So I couldn't find anything else to wrap around my face, so I found this towel around me. So I wanted to have a discussion with you about the situation of Hindus in Bangladesh
You're in
and the
Bangladesh.
problems. Yes, I'm from Bangladesh and I'm a
Okay.
Hindu.
Okay.
And
And you're
the
not.
problems,
Is it safe for you to talk to us?
as long as I'm not known to
Co-
them, like I have covered my face.
Okay. Be careful. Okay. All right. Go on.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, and also the problems between Hindus and Muslims, the root of these problems in the Indian subcontinent. So
Okay.
it would be a long discussion. So I want to join you some other time, but I just wanted to give you a heads up before I could join you. Like probably tomorrow or the next day, whenever I find a good chance, I'll join you. But I just wanted to like give you an update about the situation. Like I want to join you and want to have a discussion with you. And also I will talk about the uh, recent thing that is going on with the Hindu goddesses and the Hindu extremists. They
You know,
are
you could
coming
turn
up
off your
very.
camera as well. By the way,
Can
you
I?
could just stop the
Oh,
camera. There we go.
yes.
Just talk to me like that.
All right. So. Okay.
Is that better?
Yes. It's better. So probably tomorrow. Are you coming live tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow this time I'm doing a live just for our members, which you are a member. So I will be live.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
So if you think that the message or the things that I want to talk about is worth sharing, then please do upload this after our discussion on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
If you think
So
that worth sharing.
I could just do a discussion just with you, separate from the live stream. Is that good?
It's absolutely fine. How can I
Okay.
join you then?
So okay. So just message me. Okay. Tag me on Twitter, and
I don't
I'll
have a
follow.
Twitter. I can send you a message on Facebook.
Okay. Message me on Facebook.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
All right.
All right,
Just I'm
I'll
going
do a
to
live stream
message
with you.
you.
And what is it that you want to talk about? You want to talk about the situations of Hindus in Bangladesh?
Yes, the situation of Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh, and also the problems between Hindus and Muslim in the whole Indian subcontinent. That includes Pakistan and India also. And
Okay.
yeah, and also the current thing that is going on with the Hindu goddess Kali and other
Cali.
goddess. That yeah.
Okay. And you're a Hindu.
Yeah, I'm a Hindu.
Okay. All right. We'll be happy to talk to you for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Okay. Wow, that is pretty intense, eh? Guys, please be safe. Please be careful.
No
Please do
kidding.
not risk. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't risk anything. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Man, Bangladesh is a crap. Yeah. I'm gonna say, Armin, let's have a debate, man. Let's have a debate. Okay, let's have a debate. Sure. You guys, again, it has to be people with good audio, with good camera quality, or with just a good audio quality, not camera quality. Okay, because a lot of times I try to, and I have to see you guys like. It has to be like you guys should be able to talk if you want to debate me. Okay, like you have to show me some videos of your debate with other people so I could see that you could actually talk before I actually spend my time organizing something with you. Okay. If you don't have, some back like videos of debating with other people, like why should I again, I chase after so many people that they want to talk to me, right? Look at this, bro. They say Armin talking about CCP. Come on, bruh. They think we haven't talked about CCP. They think we haven't. We got God. Come on.
But like,
we
it's like you're not allowed to criticize anything unless you criticize everything. It's like
everything.
You are not allowed to criticize anything because now you're not criticizing every single thing. Like that doesn't make sense.
It's funny because usually the argument doesn't work for us because unlike most people, we have criticized everything.
Yeah, you especially. Like, what?
But so every time they come here, like, but I didn't have to. Like, we don't have to. Like you said, like some people can focus. Like, for example, if the apostate prophet wants to focus on Islam, that's completely okay. That's completely good. Some people want to focus on Islam.
Yeah.
But it's so funny when they. So if you're like, why haven't you criticized this? Well, because they don't want to focus on that. But it's funny when they use it against me because I'm not saying our way is better because again, I see the point of focusing sometimes on a certain topic, but it doesn't work against us because usually they can't come up with examples of like, oh, Armin, why did you criticize Judaism? I have. Here's a list. Oh, Armin, why didn't you criticize CCP? I have. Here it is.
But like that
Armin,
somehow like discounts everything that you're talking about. Like just because like that means everything you're saying is not like what?
Oh, here 1987 is saying talking about Britney Spears being locked in her home by authorities. Come on, bro.
Is she locked in her home? Why is
I
she
don't know, but we don't talk about that. That dismisses everything. Like that dismisses everything we have done. Like come on, like we didn't. Yeah, if we don't care about that,
going on and all kinds of stuff.
Hey, Soraya.
Hi, Armin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, man, it's great. Asha, today I just wanna tell you about some what I can say. I just want to suggest one thing.
Go ahead.
We know that after this sexy Kali, what all the controversy that is happening, there has been tension in on social media. Basically, on ground there is nothing actually. So tension about that. Whenever you make some kind of means you are not popular in India, basically. Okay, you are popular in India.
Really?
So as far as I know, you are popular in India on social media, not on grounds. Okay, great.
I'm so sad that I can't come meet all these new people that have found me in India. But go on.
No. Unless there is a BJP government, don't come.
No, I'm not gonna come anyways. But go on.
Okay.
All right, go on.
Okay. So we know that you have a good long history of criticizing Islam. So after criticizing Islam, whatever the content you have created, so that is used by right wingers. Okay, that was used by right wingers to comment against Muslims who were anti-Muslim bigots. Okay, so that and so basically means you also have experienced it that all right wingers were all praising you when you were criticizing Islam, but suddenly you have like turned the tables while criticizing Kali. Complimenting Kali and criticizing Hinduism. Okay, this happened. So what I want to say is, if in case if you had if you had took a different approach of criticizing Hinduism instead of what I can say means just mocking Kali or complimenting Kali, means you had already had planned about this, or it was just spontaneous, you decided to do it? What was the actually main thought process about it?
It was spontaneous because I was trying to blaspheme. It was a blaspheming against Hinduism after I desecrated the Quran. So there was a mirror image of desecrating the Quran. It wasn't like in a response to, because I got a lot of support from Hindutva for desecrating the Quran. So it wasn't, I didn't get a lot of support from Hindutva for like criticizing, like going and analyzing the Quran, right? I got a lot of support for desecrating the Quran. So I wanted to do something that was a mirror image of that against Hinduism.
Okay, right? So okay, this is one thing, and second thing is very important. Now, as far as India is concerned,
can you use a headset? Because there's a lot of echo.
I'm already using a headset. Okay, now
maybe reduce my volume. Reduce my volume.
Okay, once again. Is it okay now?
Testing. Yes. Reducing volume.
Okay, great.
Good.
Okay. So, as far as India is concerned, we are a country with like diverse people. We have diverse people. Like there is a
Yes.
Hindu house and there is a Muslim house aligned to it. So every day there is a Hindu, there is a Muslim, there is a Christian, face to face living about each other. Okay. And when we criticize each other's religion, in case, okay, ideas of the religion, okay. So
Ooh, got cut.
awareness about.
Say it
Hello?
again. Say it again.
Yeah.
Say it fast because you're getting cut.
Okay. Here in India, we have all type of people living together in a society. Okay, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, everyone, Buddhist, everyone. So whenever we are criticizing any religion, then we have to face each other. Okay. So can we have one segment where we can we have to focus on criticizing some ideology and not the people? Means we have to bring that awareness into the Indian people that when you criticize an idea, it is only the idea, not the people. You don't have to hate the people. Okay, we
Right.
have to focus on that, not to hate the people. In India, they haven't. They haven't adapted this kind of mentality. They haven't adapted this kind of state of mind that you don't need to hate the people to hate some ideology.
Right. And that's why they think that my anti-Islam activism is also anti-Muslim. They don't get it that I support
Don't
Muslims.
get it exactly.
They don't get it that I'm
so
I'm anti-Islam, pro-Muslim. They don't understand that.
That's why we have you have to do at least some dedicated episodes where you have to differentiate Islam and Muslims totally. That Muslims have different type of cultures in different countries where they have situated, they have located. In India there are different kind of Muslims. In Bangladesh there are different kind of Muslims. They have their own culture going on. But when it comes to Islam, it is a different ideology, and Muslims living in India are different because and because the Constitution of India gives equal rights to everyone. It doesn't like discriminates to Hindus and Muslims, XYZ, whatever that is, right? So on that basis, you have to at least give some. It will be little bit hectic for you to study about Indian Constitution, because after that only you will penetrate the actual core of this matter. Okay. So I'll just suggest you to please read the Constitution of India a little bit, the main things which are related to religion, and then you can penetrate the society of Indian mentality, and then you'll smash the main thing. You'll end. Yeah,
I will. We do it. We'll do a lot. There's so many opportunities. We'll do all of that. I'm gonna take your
all of it.
Okay. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Good suggestion, Soraya. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. It's always great.
Yes, great.
What Soraya said about how India is viewing that, it's not. Thank you, Marco. You're sweet.
Thank you, Soraya, for the great recommendations, and then thank you, Marco, for the super chat. The super chat by Marco saying, Deborah, not taking anything away from your obvious intellect, but you would definitely be my one and only wife. Darn, you're pretty. Okay, thank you for the super chat. Do I need to send the super chat to Deborah? Or I'm going to keep it. Is that okay?
Yeah, you have it. That's for you.
So what were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah, no, just what he's saying. Like, we're criticizing Islam. We have to constantly remind everybody that we're not attacking Muslims, that we're only attacking religion or the ideology, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that ignorant way of thinking. Like for me, it's like the Christians in Canada that don't know anything about any other religions, they attack Muslims because they don't really think about it too much. So it's like the same idea, I think. So it's a matter of like really constantly reminding everybody we're talking about the religion. We're not attacking people, because I mean, we have family members that are Muslim. We have friends that are Muslim. Like we're not hating on any of them.
Yeah, this is why I needed to blaspheme against Hinduism, because a lot of these Hindutva people, they understood my anti-Islam activism as me validating their anti-Muslim bigotry.
And they're using it for that, which is bad, right?
And they also consider that justification for their anti-Muslim bigotry. Exactly. So I wanted to I wanted to let them know that this is not what you think it is. So that's why I had to blaspheme against Hinduism, right?
Yeah.
But very good point. Ren, you're here.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hi, Ren.
Hello. All right. So I heard Soraya, and there's one thing I want to dispute, like a little bit of a dispute with that, is like he talked about the constitution and the democracy, and Hindus and Muslims and Christians who all stay together, but the prejudices they kind of run deep, right?
Okay.
So like there's always this thing like I can't explain it, man. There's like this underlying racism. It's like not racism, but bigotry, right? And it's not often said, but it's there, right? So I mean, like the most like liberal Hindutva, if I could say that, they would be nice to you on your face, but once your back is turned, they'd be like, you know, all these Muslims are all the same, all these Christians are the same. It's like just small stuff like that that kind of feeds that hate towards each other, right? So, and it's not been helped. Like India was always like a very liberal country, but the rise of the Hindutva brigade, they have kind of brought those emotions to the surface, right? Where, I mean, you can have like not in a million years I would have thought that like politicians would openly and publicly support murderers and child rapists, and that's what happened. That's what religion did, and like all of a sudden, like I don't know if you've heard about the incident.
Are you in India right now?
I am.
Okay, go on. Okay, go on.
I am. So like a couple of years ago, not years ago, a couple of months ago, I think maybe last year, there was this case where like a little child was raped and murdered in a temple in Kashmir.
Yes, we covered it on Atheist Republic.
Yeah. And like a normal person would be like, okay, religion aside, ideology aside, politics aside, this is messed up, right? But what we saw was like a wave of Hindutva people, not Hindus, Hindutva people who align themselves with the ideology of Hinduism. They came out in waves and supported this. Like, okay, maybe not supported it, but
excused
I think
it.
they were. Yeah, exactly. They excused it, and they were trying trying to sing about whataboutery, right? And you had all these YouTube channels that were like, oh, you know, that's all fine and dandy, but what about when this Muslim guy raped this Muslim girl? And you know, it was like they were pumping out all this news and everything,
right?
And I'm like, yeah, and there was another incident where like a Muslim guy raped like a Hindu kid and everything, and there was a protest of Muslim people that condemned the rapist, right? But the Hindutva brigade, they took images, they went to Photoshop, they morphed the images, and they were like, look, even the Muslims are supporting the rapist, right? So like I think even the gentleman from Bangladesh who was Paradise Lost, right? I think his issue is basically the issue of everybody else, that when you're outnumbered in a country,
right,
you will be attacked for your views, for your beliefs and whatnot. If you're a Muslim dominated country, you'll be attacked for being Christian, Hindu, atheist, whatever. If you're in a Hindu dominated country, it's the same thing. And it didn't used to be this like this, but I mean, I guess these are the times we live in right now, I suppose.
Right. So Soraya is here, by the way. Soraya, you're still here with us?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Do you want to respond to Ren?
Well, actually, he actually added which I have left out. He actually completed the left argument which I had to say. But the thing is, you know, when he is talking about that we have such people which after turning means there are many people who behind our back abuse us. Means as a Dalit, I have also seen it that when behind my back, many of the people abuse me and whatever the means they literally want to kill me when I oppose their ideologies. Okay, this had happened. It's not like it doesn't happen with anyone. We are living on the edge. That is what is happening. You guys are you can hear me, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So we are living on the edge. So it's not like it doesn't happen with anyone. We all are facing the same thing. But the thing is, it. My only point was that it isn't right to generalize people and just hate them. People, huh? People, not religion. People and just hate them. Okay, and there is politicians will be there. If you want to criticize some religion, politicians will be take their share of doing some what I can to politicize it. Okay, so whenever you are interfering with some religious subject, then there will be some kind of politics because there is no politics without religion in India. Whenever you are interfering with a religion, some of the other politician will come, some of the politics will be there. So the secularism in the name secularism in India is there, but it is not absolute. Means it is not safer. Since 2014, since the regime of Hindutva came, it has destroyed the secularism piece by piece. Okay. So now the present situation is whatever the decision government takes, those people who are Hindutva, they literally take means they need to chill, but they take it literally and do whatever they want to make that happen. Whatever their
So you guys don't really disagree. Both of you are pointing out that there's still some secularism left, but it's under threat, it's being challenged. There are some bad examples that exist, but it's not like a binary thing. It's not like it's either accepted or tolerant or not. It exists in India more than some other country, but it's under attack, right?
Yeah,
so you
actually,
guys,
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with Ren for talking. Means whatever he is saying, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just telling there is a hope where we shouldn't stay. We shouldn't stay. What we can say, we shouldn't stay silent. Okay, the moment we stay silent, that will be a threat. That will be an actual threat. Because people who have because people who have
let Ren speak now.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you. Go on. Ren.
Yeah. So I agree with Soraya as well. But what concerns me is that this ideology is very rapidly growing, and I see it every day with people I work with, and because we're friends on, we see each other at work and everything, and I see that ideology, speaking through them, where they'll talk about, oh yeah, whatever Modi is doing or whatever this government or what this radical leader is doing, it's a little messed up, but it's deserved, right? That's the rationale they give. And the only thing I can think is that they will never have to live as a minority, so they don't know how messed up it is, right? So it's like India's not intolerant, it's just indifferent. So it's like, if it doesn't affect you, you don't give a shit about it. And I think that's the main problem. What they don't realize is that even if Hinduism takes over the country and you convert all the Muslims, Christians, whatever, there's still, the caste system, right? And they were talking about are you aware of the NCR and CAA issues in India? The National Registry of Citizens, where they were...
Yeah. I'm going to do a video on that one as well. But
so basically, they're going to take everybody from all minorities from surrounding countries, Bangladesh, Pakistan, whatever, and there's going to be a provision where they can become Indian citizens, except for Muslims, right? and they're building detention centers and everything and like that. And they're saying, oh, it's not anti-Muslim at all. But I mean, anybody can see it really is. And again, I'm not defending Islam. I'm just defending people who believe in a faith that I don't care if they believe in it or not. It doesn't affect my life one way or the other. But it's just that I don't like bullies, and I don't like to see people getting ostracized or abused or murdered for whatever nonsense they believe in. Right? That's where I'm coming from on this.
All right, so guys, I think we should end this here. I'm hoping that Twitch guy saw my comment. There's somebody commented on Twitch asking for a topic about immigration. I hope, I'm gonna do a live stream on that. I hope he or she doesn't think I was ignoring him. Again, guys, if I miss your live chat, I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best to see everything if possible. It's hard. But again, guys, Soraya and Ren, great discussion between you two on this topic. I think a lot of us learned a lot. But it's already been 1 hour. It's supposed to be 1 hour only, so we already went over time. But I'm just gonna not yell today because we have Deborah, Ren, and Soraya here, and I don't want to scare them. But you know what you're supposed to do. Deborah, tell them what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, subscribe.
Yes, thank you. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Soraya, let's say something. You're unmuted.
Thank you, Armin.
Yeah, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon, guys.
All right. I love you guys. Okay, bye, guys.